Japan's largest warship is set to sail through the contested waters of the South China Sea in the nation's largest show of naval force since the Second World War. Sources telling Reuters exclusively that the Izumo helicopter carrier's planned 3-month voyage will plot a course through a group of islands in the Pacific rich in oil, gas, fishing, and shipping routes, and claimed by Beijing and 5 other countries. China has laid claim to almost all the disputed waters, and its growing military presence has raised alarms in Japan and the West, with the U.S. now regularly patrolling the area by air and sea. A spokesman for Japan's Maritime Self-Defense Force declined to comment. The Japanese naval expedition comes as the U.S. appears to be taking a tougher line with China. Washington has criticized China's construction of man-made islands and military bases in the area. Beijing in January saying it had, quote, irrefutable sovereignty over the disputed islands after the U.S. vowed to defend, quote, international territories. Japan has no claim to the South China Sea, but does have a separate dispute with Beijing in the East China Sea. Tokyo has in recent years ramped up its military capacity, stretching the limits of its post-World War II pacifist constitution, which limits Japan to defensive weapons. The Izumo, nonetheless, allows Japan to project military power well beyond its territory. The carrier will make stops in Singapore, Indonesia, the Philippines, and Sri Lanka before joining joint naval exercises with the U.S. and Indian armadas in July.
Currently, Japan is sending a destroyer to travel around till August just to see how it does, because it had signed that treaty after World War II, and that's what this all talks about. It's basically a helicopter carrier because we limited their naval capability. The problem is North Korea launching missiles reaching up to this area about right here, approximate distance. We installed a THAAD anti-ballistic missiles system in South Korea, and everybody's going nuts down there. And you know, you can see these are the army bases that we have in Japan. So they will be joining us in the South China Sea. China still claims absolute sovereignty in that area amongst a couple of other countries. Philippines, Vietnam, China, Malaysia. You can see that cluster right here. And there's a couple of reasons. There's fishing resources. That's China. And trafficking of whatever's going on. Probably mostly, I would think, drugs, opium, which is another major reason why the United States would be getting involved down there. If Asia, which is one of the big world opium production areas, is messing with our Afghanistan opium trade, because we are protecting the Afghan poppy fields. I'll throw a bar chart in here just so you can see a correlation of the amount of production in Afghanistan of opium since we've been there in 2001. I think it has something to do with this. There'll be links in the description so you could read the whole video, the whole article yourself, and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Stop.